Well over 200 years ago, the earliest European explorers struggled against the treacherous currents and unpredictable winds which ruled the Straits of Mackinac, separating what was to become Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas. Early on, the straits was recognized for their economic and strategic military value. In the 1700s, both the French and the English built forts overlooking the waterway and stationed armies to protect their interests. Travel and commerce between the two peninsulas was limited to whatever could be transported by boat or carried across the ice in the winter. When the upper and lower peninsulas became the state of Michigan in 1837, the problem was compounded. So near, yet so far were the opposing shores. For years, many dreamed of a bridge across the straits, but the technology to build such a structure had not been discovered. It was first proposed in 1884, and from that time until November 1st, 1957, Mighty Mac was known as the bridge that couldn't be built. Actual construction started in 1954 after financing was arranged through the sale of bonds to private investors. A total of $99,800,000 was necessary to complete the project. There were many obstacles to overcome and problems to solve in the design and construction of what was to become one of the safest and most beautiful spans ever built. The total length of the Mackinac Bridge is just 28 feet short of 5 miles. The two majestic towers soar 552 feet above the water and extend another 210 feet below the surface to rest on bedrock. With 8,344 feet from cable anchorage to cable anchorage, the Mighty Mac is the Western Hemisphere's longest suspension bridge. Over 42,000 miles of wire are banded together to form the massive 24.5-inch diameter main cables. The roadbed is 199 feet above the water's surface at midspan. The water at midspan is 295 feet deep. Prior to the bridge opening, the Michigan Department of Transportation operated car ferries between Mackinac City and St. Ignace. In their last year of operation, these ferries accounted for some 900,000 vehicles crossing the straits. Currently, the bridge carries over 4.8 million vehicles each year. The Mackinac Bridge serves as the gateway to the unspoiled natural beauty of the Upper Peninsula. Summer in the Upper Peninsula is a vacationer's dream come true as thousands of acres of wilderness, lakes, and forest provide fishing, swimming, camping, and a multitude of other outdoor activities. The land of Longfellow's Hiawatha offers fantastic sightseeing and hiking. There's Mackinac Island, Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks, the busy Sioux Locks, Tequamanon Falls, the Porcupine Mountains, Lake of the Clouds, Copper Harbor, Isle Royale National Park, and so much more. You'll want to come back again and again. Visitors to the Upper Peninsula in the summer find the only thing better than our beautiful weather is the warm Upper Peninsula hospitality. Affordable and friendly are the two words which best describe the hundreds of hotels, motels, and campgrounds and bed and breakfast inns. If you would like to know more about things to do and see around the Straits area or throughout Michigan's two magnificent peninsulas, visit one of the Michigan Department of Transportation's 13 welcome centers, conveniently located throughout the state. There are two located in the Straits area. One is located at exit 338 on Nicolay Street in Mackinac City, and another in St. Ignace, just past the toll plaza on the north end of the bridge. Both allow easy access on and off I-75. The Mackinac Bridge Authority looks forward to your safe crossing of what we think is the world's most beautiful bridge. Please be aware that it is necessary to perform maintenance and construction on the Mackinac Bridge. We will have intermittent lane closures when traffic volumes permit. Please watch for signs, cones, and maintenance vehicles. Be sure to follow the speed limit on the bridge, and remember, while pulling a trailer, to allow some extra safe stopping distance between your vehicle and the traffic ahead. We hope that your trip is enjoyable and that you'll visit the Straits of Mackinac again soon. You are listening to WHNC, licensed to and operated by the Mackinac Bridge Authority. This message will now repeat.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the message that my lovely family hears every time we cross the bridge. That is the radio broadcast across the Mackinac Bridge and all the different different things. So, today's special is about the Mackinac Bridge on Science and Tech Tuesday. We had a members only vote in YouTube, and this is what won out. So this is the topic we're covering today. So we're gonna learn all about how the bridge was built, when, history, that kind of stuff. So should be fun. So let's say hello and get into it. Over on the Rumbles, we have Jacob Castro with Sup Rumble Ghetto Savages Fire. Hell yeah. Over here we have Josh Chandler. For fuck's sake, now with the weight. What's up, buddy? Belandris, what's going on, man? Dog Mama not doing her job because she's protesting because she wanted the other category, which will be next week's. Jacob's over here too. Sup Savages, Fire. And Dazzer, what's up, buddy? I don't know what I'm just gonna call you Sean because I have no idea what the hell that says. Any user with Mystic, hello. Shenny, hello. Josh is back, finally. Or waited the whole time. Kind of, but not really. Barbara, hello. Hey, what's up, Digger? Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, now you're going to. Saturday, we're going to be hosting Digger's birthday party on this channel right here. We're honored to have her. It's going to be a good time and excited to do it. So, we're all ready. Links are starting to get posted. We're going to have fun. Degloving, which can happen when the cables snap. Yeah. What's up, Amazing Disgrace? I have that soundbite. I think Shenny sent it to me. Shit, I gotta put that in a clip. I haven't done it yet. Yeah, intermittent lane closures. Like, always one lane, and you have to drive on the grades, and I hate it. What's up, Jonathan? Let me check. Yes, I did. I was just on the Great Aussie Overlords program to discuss that. It's real close to home. Literally. AP, what's up, buddy? I think I already said hi to you, though. You had the lane comment. Yeah. And that looks it. But I appreciate it, Digger. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the Mackinac Bridge. Where's the Mackinac Bridge? So, the Mackinac Bridge, if this is Michigan, and for all my non-American viewers, this is the United States, Mexico, Canada. This is Michigan. So Michigan has two peninsulas. We have the Lower Peninsula, where most of the people live. And that's this hand-looking shape. The Greats are not fun. They are like, nope, lost. Anyways, I went on a diatribe about how the Incredible Hulk is the most powerful character. That's awesome. Chinatistan. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna directly contradict you just because I can, and I like somebody better. Tony Stark is not. He's not celestial and such. I think Tony Stark is. I mean, I know he uses machines, but he's both my favorite and probably the most powerful. Anyways, back to this. So driving on the grates, you'll notice something when we're looking at it, and we'll get into the why. But driving on the grates is like driving on an ice skating rink with marbles underneath your tires and a 60-mile-an-hour wind pushing you straight up in the air. It's terrifying, and it makes that noise. Okay, I got sufficiently distracted. Let's get back to it. So if we go up here to Michigan, Michigan is two peninsulas. One, this is the lower peninsula. That's where most of the people live. And this up here that looks kind of like a wolf or a deer, maybe. I don't know. This is the upper peninsula. This is the unspoiled beauty. So there are very few people. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been on this earth. Yes, I have bias, but shit happens. Like I said, our family cabin is in this general area. Give you a nice big swap. Seahorse? Okay. I could get that. I don't believe you're gonna not try and distract me from the topic at hand, but I don't know, man. Iron Man he's got some cool tech. So one of the problems with there's also just politically, there's been a big push to make Superior, the state of Superior, our 51st state, because the values of the Upper Peninsula are so different from the Lower Peninsula. And they're huge land masses. So there's enough there, and they want to be called Superior. If you go to like the gas stations and look at the maps on the wall, they all say Superior across the top. So they think they're a different state, but that's, here nor there. So this is the tip of the Upper Peninsula, and you have the city of St. Ignace here. If you saw some of my shorts, I posted some, I think a video from the 4th of July celebration. I'm kind of there too, brother. No, it doesn't. Well, Lake Michigan. Yes, it does. So fun part. Yeah, I think so too. I'll give you my favorite is Iron Man. My least favorite is Hawkeye. Guy's worthless. But anyways, we're not talking about that right now. Yeah, they do. They do. But anyways, so here's St. Ignace. Very much French influenced city. They French and natives. That's kind of what's in that general area. If I'm not mistaken, I think I forgot, but it's a fairly old city. Over here on Mackinac, I'm not going to make that claim because I don't remember. Over here on the other side, on the Lower Peninsula, we have Mackinac City. Mackinac City is a huge British stronghold city back in the earlier days, and you had the fur trade and all that stuff that went on. There's actually there's Fort Michilimackinac, and it is a former British fort. They hold different events there and stuff like that. But Mackinac is much more it's much more touristy. St. Ignace is much more like you're actually in the Upper Peninsula. So connecting these two, or keeping them apart, is a big body of water. And this is called the Straits of Mackinac. Pretty deep. It moves very quickly because you're literally bringing Superior into Michigan, and then Michigan feeds into other stuff. And you have the same, you have water going in Huron and then out the Seaway. But this is about 5 miles. So this is quite a distance. And the Mackinac Bridge is 28 feet short of 5 miles. So that connects the upper and lower peninsula of Michigan. It's a fun drive, really cool. And I love it. Oh, I forgot about Deadpool. Deadpool's probably 1 and 2. Yeah, French, Finnish, and Irish. Yeah, it's hell, they might as well be Canadian up there for real. So that's the area that we're talking about. You can see. I'll show you. Obviously, you've seen this picture before, but I'll show you again. But that's a picture of the Mackinac Bridge that I took. As you can see, gorgeous. So we'll look at some of the bridge cams real quick. So this is an active bridge camera. I think it updates every like 3 minutes or something like that. So this is from the administration building. So this is from the St. Ignace side looking towards Mackinac. This one is also from St. Ignace looking towards Mackinac. So as you can see, it's this tall structure. And the middle of it is a suspension bridge. This is Bridgeview Park in St. Ignace. So this is the right side of the bridge looking south. It's just a gorgeous bridge. And this is the Mackinac City side. You can tell it's Michigan because here's your construction barrels. And as AP said, and the recording, St. Ignace. IGANACE. It's I actually never looked. It's actually like triple the size. So it says the Golden Gate Bridge is 1.7 miles. And the Mackinac Bridge is 28 feet short of 5 miles. I thought it was bigger. I just wanted to be accurate. So it's a much bigger Golden Gate Bridge, but same general thought. Let's see. Trying to keep up on. I didn't see one from the bridge tower, but things like Dirty Jobs and a couple other programs have taken video from up there, or different, because they change all those lights and stuff like that. So you should. So, where was I gonna get? That one's done. That one's done. Let's clean some of this stuff out. Okay, so the other thing about this bridge is it was built a long time ago. And here's some historic photos. If you're ever in the area, there's a place called Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. And they previously had a really good free bridge museum. And a lot of the artifacts and the ironworkers stuff and all that kind of stuff. It actually caught fire and burnt about 6-7 years ago. But it has since been they've been working on rebuilding it. So might be something to check on. It gives you a lot of the history and a lot of stuff we're going to go over. So this is what it looked like in the late 1950s. And this one I'm going to kind of use for pictures, but we're going to go through a different one. If you've ever been up there, this looks completely different than it. This is one of the cannons from the fort, from Fort Michilimackinac. And that's how it's spelled, Michilimackinac. So here's some of the pier construction. So obviously they had to make the piers all the way across. A lot of cranes and a lot of cool stuff like that. The base of one of the Mackinac Bridge towers being constructed. This bridge is massive, absolutely massive. You can tell the old film. See, we have waves. This is in midsummer 1955, and steel workers are assembling two prefabricated Mackinac Bridge towers. We'll get into the towers. They're huge. Notice the automobiles ferries in the background with the black smoke coming from the coal-fired engines. So they didn't have a bridge here. There was no way to cross between between the lower and upper peninsulas. So they took car ferries powered by coal. So they'd stop over and they'd take you across this 5-mile stretch. And we'll get into why that didn't work in a minute here, but Mackinac Bridge towers are complete. Where the hell's my mouse again? My mouse keeps doing funny shit. So annoying. I think it just died. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta switch batteries on my mouse. I'll be right back, yo. Damn engineers putting boat captains out of business. No, the boat captains just went to another. There's a place called Mackinac Island. And Mackinac Island to this day does not allow motorized vehicles, with a couple exceptions. One of them being fire trucks and stuff like that. So about 7 minutes, John. So here's the two anchorages. So you're starting to see the anchors going to the towers. During the winter, this all freezes, so it makes it even more of a pain in the ass. Mackinac Bridge Viewing Park, Bridgeview Park, you can go there still today. Obviously, you could see that. It's still largely unaffected. So, Michilimackinac State Park. So, that's the British fort. It's actually built into the bottom of the bridge at this point. So, I believe that it appears that this is where they built the kind of visitor center. And so they built the visitor center for the state park into the bridge itself. So we'll go back to some pictures in just a minute. We're going to Sorry. So we're going to go through some of the history. I just have to find the right one. I apologize. Okay, so that's the. All right, here it is. Building the Mackinac Bridge was a magnificent feat. What did it take? So, the story behind the greatest 5-mile road trip on the planet, the Mackinac Bridge. Once upon a time, our state was divided, lower and upper, by very deep, very blue water, or in the winter, thick white ice of the Straits of Mackinac. Then on November 1st, 1957. So you got to think that this was 70, 66 years ago, I think. Shit. Sorry, my brain's not doing math right now. 66 years, I believe. So actually, it's not to the 65 years. This is 65 year, going into the 66th year of operation. The miraculous ribbons of asphalt wire and two majestic towers knit together to become the Mackinac Bridge. 200 miles away, Detroit was ready with visions of family stations, station wagons, sedans, and sports cars zipping across what was once an abyss. In a sense, the bridge and the automobile, grew up together. In a story that began in 1886 with the first patents for the gas-powered automobile granted to Carl Benz and Gottlieb Daimler. Yeah, smash that like button. The very next year, David Steinem was born to a family who lived in the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge, and for all his life he loved books and poetry and bridges. Near the end of his richer life, he would design the Mackinac Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge, the first steel wire suspension bridge in the world, was finished in 1883. Caught more than just a little boy's fancy, it inspired folks in Michigan to dream big, a longest bridge in the world kind of big at the time. A 5-mile feat of engineering suspended 500 feet over water 250 feet deep, a feat that had never been performed in the history of the world. In France, Gustave Eiffel was dreaming of a crazy iron structure that would rise a breathtaking 1,000 feet in the air. In Michigan, they wanted to go long, way long. The idea ignited imaginations from Lansing to St. Ignace, where in 1884, local businessmen published a drawing of the Brooklyn Bridge with the caption, "Proposed bridge across the Straits of Mackinac." That's Mackinac. I don't know why. More committing was the statement at the 1888 Grand Hotel's Board of Directors meeting by railroad magnate Cornelius Vanderbilt. Such great names back then. We now have the largest, most well-equipped hotel of its kind in the world for a short season of business. Now what we need is a bridge across the straits. Yes, the future Vanderbilt was in tourism. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just tripping over myself. Yeah, it's insane. So, over the course of the next 70 years, discussions about building the Mackinac Bridge hiccuped along, tripped up by 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and the Korean War. Eventually, car ferries did the work of transporting cars between peninsulas, but not as efficiently as a bridge would. In 1950, the state got serious and instituted the Mackinac Bridge Authority, which still runs the bridge today. Almost $100 million worth of bonds were to pay for the new bridge that was estimated to cost $45 million in 1957. And David Steinem was hired to design it. Just think of that. So $45 million. That's an insanely low price for something that's was so mind blowing at the time. At 70 years old, he'd built bridges in the United States, Thailand, England, Portugal, Italy, Brazil, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Canada, Korea, Iraq, and Pakistan. The Mackinac Bridge would be his final and greatest project. At its completion, the 5-mile-long bridge was the longest suspension bridge in the world. Steinman designed it to withstand 350-plus mile-per-hour winds. So, one of the things with the Straits is there's an incredible amount of wind that goes right there along the water through that area because it's kind of pinched. All right, Jude, take care. It took 4 years, 3,500 workers, 895,000 blueprints, 71,300 tons of steel, 931,000 tons of concrete, 42,000 miles of cable wire, and they got some cable and it didn't work properly, so they had to restring a ton, if not all of the cable. 4,851,700 steel rivets, which is just an insane amount of rivets. 1,016,600 steel bolts, and tragically the lives of 3 men who died on the job to build her. Although the Big Mac, or the Mighty Mac, or any other thing that shortens Mac, is now the 3rd longest suspension bridge in the world at 8,614 feet, the distance between their towers, she still holds the title for the longest suspension bridge in the Western Hemisphere. Thank you to the Mackinac Bridge Authority and mightymac.org. All right. So we're going to kind of go back and forth a little bit. I got to go back to the right one. I wanted to, and Mystic knows what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, so the Mackinac Bridge Authority has like a fact sheet. There it is, facts and figures. So just to give you an idea what we're, I know, not even close. So here's some facts and figures, and these are on, if you go up there, there's t-shirts and all that kind of shit. So the Mackinac Bridge is currently the 5th longest suspension bridge in the world. The bridge opened to traffic on November 1st, 1957. The following facts and figures are quoted from David Steinman's book, Miracle Bridge at Mackinac. So the Mackinac Bridge is 28 feet short of 5 miles. So it's 26,372 feet, or 8,038 meters for our Canadian friends. The total length of the superstructure, the steel superstructure, is 19,243 feet, or 5,865 meters. The length of the suspension bridge, including anchorages, is 8,614 feet. They didn't provide meters for that one. That's weird. Total length of the north approach is 7,129 feet, or 2,173 meters. And the length of the span between the 2 main towers is 3,800 feet, or 1,158 meters. Now, yes. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And not only is it a beautiful bridge, if there are certain days where this bridge, the main structure. So one of the things when they built the bridge, it couldn't have sustained if we were talking about the grates earlier. It couldn't have sustained if it was all asphalt or concrete because the bridge moves entirely too much. So what they did to combat that problem is they actually made steel grates with holes in them, so the air from the straits can come up through the bridge and not put as much structural stress on the bridge and not have to withstand so much, because it would be so it acts kind of the way it was explained to me one time is it's like an aircraft wing, but you don't want it to lift up and fly away. You want holes in it so the air can come through and not move the bridge. Now, I've been on the bridge where it's moving and they do high wind advisories, and you gotta be escorted by a bridge authority vehicle. I don't know if you've ever done that, AP, but that's terrifying. Fuck it, I don't feel like doing this math. I'll repeat myself and let the freedom, not freedom people. Yep. So it's a really cool design. Driving on the grates is terrifying. If you look down while you're driving and you can't stop anywhere in the bridge, it takes a good 10 minutes to cross the bridge. There's a picture of someplace in the bridge bending like a snake. Yeah, it's insane. It might be in one of these from the state of Michigan or whatever, but yeah, it still moves quite a bit even with the grates. But so if you're driving across the bridge, or there's one day, Labor Day, here in America, where you can walk the 5 miles across the bridge. So yeah, that one's kind of crazy too. I've actually driven over that one, but you can look down and see the water through the grates. And I've actually been underneath the bridge. I've been on the bridge. Labor Day, it's a huge thing. There's car show, classic car shows, and you can walk across the bridge. Surprisingly, there's only been 2 vehicles that have went over the side, and of course they died. It's fun. It's enjoyable. So there was 2, and one of them was a vehicle that was in the late 80s, early 90s, and it went through the ice, and the occupants, of course, passed away, but left a big hole in the ice. And I remember it had to be in early 90s, because I remember that. Hole out there. Driving by it was kind of eerie. The actual sides of the bridge are not high at all. So I'm surprised that there's more. Not more, but it's a relatively safe bridge. So we'll get into more numbers, heights and depths. Height above the main towers above the water is 552 feet. So that's the top of the water to the top of the tower. Maximum depth to rock at midspan. It says unknown. It's quite a ways down there. That's bedrock when they were putting the foundation. Yeah. Maximum depth of water at midspan is 295 feet. So, like I said, it is deep. It is fast-moving water with hella currents. So it's 295 feet depth of the water right there at the middle. The towers, the piers go 210 feet below water, but they're not at the max depth of the water. So, height of roadway above water at midspan. So it's about 200 feet, just short of 200 feet off the water. So not only is this bridge moving, not only is it windy, not only is it a long, tenuous drive, but if you look through the grates or over the side, you're 200 feet off the water. So it's pretty intense. Clearance at midspan for ships is 155 feet, and you'll see the Great Lakes cruise ships underneath there. You see all kinds of freighters and stuff like that. Thank you. It was a Yugo. Yep. You know what I'm talking about. It's lore for the bridge. Maximum depth at water at piers, it's 142 feet. And that doesn't matter. So there's 42,000 miles of cable, because the middle of it, you can see the cables, and we'll watch one more video after we learned all this stuff. But oh yeah, that would be horrific. I've seen people do it. I wouldn't. But there's 42,000 miles of wire. Big wire. Yeah. Absolutely. 16,000 tons of tension on the cables. There's 12,580 wires in each strand. So if a wire broke, there's 12,579 of its best friends to help. The cables themselves are almost 12,000 tons, 24.5 inches of cable. You can see them. They're huge, and the diameter of each wire is 0.196 inches. So now we get into all the different weights, and it won't hold up one way or the other. So 1,024,500 tons for the total weight of the bridge. And then you can see the breakdowns. I'm not going to go through each one, but 71,000 tons of structural steel. So a lot of weight and a lot of materials. As I said earlier, here's the bolts and rivets number. Oh, they didn't even do like metric tons or anything, did they? 929,410,766 kilos. Yep. And only 3 of them died. Engineering drawings, about 4,000, 85,000 blueprints. So a lot of planning and work. 3,500 at bridge site, at quarries, shops, mills, etc. 7,500 and 350 engineers. So the Mackinac Bridge Authority was appointed in June 1950, and they sold bonds, raised $100 million. Board of 3 engineers. Who cares? Construction contracts negotiated in 53. Bids for sale of bonds. So it only took them a little bit over 3 years. So May 7th, 1954 is when construction began. And it was open to traffic on November 1st, 1957. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good for a project that had never been done before in a very unforgiving environment. Kind of magnificent. Yeah, very fast work. And it's held steadfast for many years, and I feel completely comfortable crossing it. So its formal dedication was June 25th through 28th in 1958. The 50 millionth crossing was in 1984. The 40th anniversary, 97. And the 100 millionth crossing was in June 25th, 1998. So that's a lot of cars crossing the bridge. 100 million cars. Go home, Shitty. That's cool that you have somebody that maybe assisted with it. So that's some of the stuff. So I'm going to go through. Here's the first passengers. and we'll talk about stuff a little bit more. So, on November 1st, 1957, left to right, Michigan Highway Commissioner John Mackey, bridge designer David Steinman. So Mackey, Steinman, Governor Menon Williams, Murray Wagner, and other state dignitaries. So those are the people from the state of Michigan. So now we're back to this one. Cars began flowing over the Mackinac Bridge on November 1st, 1957. The first car over was a shiny new 1958 Dodge Coronet, courtesy of Brown Motors. Coronet. Dodge Coronet. That's it. It was in 1957. I don't know if I've ever seen it. So that was the first. That's a pretty slick car. That was the first car over. Not that one specifically, but you know what I'm talking about. Courtesy of Brown Motors, a family-owned dealership still doing business in Petoskey, Michigan. At the bridge's official dedication the next June, 103 sparkling white Oldsmobile convertibles began bearing dignitaries paraded across the bridge. The epic moment didn't escape anyone involved. The bridge was a global phenomenon. A structure that would facilitate commerce, offer people across access, I can't even speak anymore, to better medical treatment and open up the world to the Upper Peninsula. And likewise, it would open up easy access to the 3 Great Lakes coastlines, to miles of backcountry hiking, skiing, and my personal favorite, pasty gorging. Who knows what a pasty is other than AP? You don't get to answer. So pasties are food that supposedly originated in northern Michigan. And what they were was breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the. Nope, that's a pasty. These are pasties. Pasties are. I'm trying to look for a good one. Pasties are all your meals in one. And the loggers and ironworkers used to eat them quick, cheap, easy, and everything. Basically, Hot Pockets. Yeah. So this is a pasty. So you have a pastry on the outside, like a pie crust almost. Then you have potatoes and carrots and that kind of stuff, and meat, lots of meat, and they're just packed in there. Yep, they are. They're incredible. It is a weird version of a handheld pot pie. So I like everything in them, and I think it's an incredible idea, but I hate pasties. Don't tell anybody I said that. My son tried one for the first time this year, and I think he enjoyed it. It's an incredible idea. Yes, lots of mighty meat. But I'm not a fan for reasons. Blah blah blah. But when you are midway across the steel, concrete, and wires of goodness, strength, and beauty, gazing down on the mirrored shorelines, Mackinac Island, and the ruffled waves of the 2 Great Lakes, the voyage is all about the Mackinac Bridge. Greatest 5-mile road trip ever. So that's some interesting facts about that. Now I'm gonna go back to the pictures for a while. Yeah, same. Yeah, basically. You could. You could. Hey, what's up, Parabellum? Digger would eat pasties off your nips. That's what I heard, Jacob. Take her up on it. All right. So again, here's some pictures, and they're just really cool pictures. That is true. So here's some of the structure going up. You can still see this structure. A couple really cool things about the bridge. So it has to be repainted every single year, and that's why there's often construction. You'll see the Mackinac Bridge Authority, and they'll start at one end, and they chip away and then repaint the entire bridge green every single year. And they only get a couple months because the winters are incredibly harsh with the straights. So they paint from one end and then start all over, paint all the way down. So this is where the visitor center is for Fort Michilimackinac. We see some more. The Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island and a car ferry can be seen in the distance. Oh, there's the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. If you were single and looking for a really good, or not single, I meant if you don't have kids and looking for a good kind of fancy place to get away from things, Grand Hotel is really, really pretty. So there's an aerial view of the bridge going up. It's just so neat. It's so cool to see. It's one of those things that if you've never seen the Mackinac Bridge, I highly encourage it. So there's the causeway. I think this is the causeway side on St. Ignace. So they built a causeway out and then put it over. So there's the tower, one of the towers. And again, they got it done relatively quickly. They got it done relatively cheap. You're starting to see more of it and more of it. This is I-75. Both ways it's I-75. There's some more construction. I'm trying to look for. Hang on one second. What's up, Deez? You're in an aeroplane? Or I'm in an airplane? What's up, Isabel? The old cars. I'm enjoying the pictures as much as I hope you are, but they're just cool. So there's as it's getting more completed. I was hoping that they would have, and it doesn't look like it. It looks like I might have to. There's the wire that they wrapped to to make the main cables. There's all the trusses, stringers, or whatever they call them. So there's those wires that they stranded together. Catwalks, like that's where the fuck it worked. Like that's insane. Just crazy to just hang out there and put a bridge together. Yeah, it's always under construction. It's love chat. Yeah. That one I think is the coolest picture. Summer of '57. The two suspended roadway sections from the side. I'm looking for. Ooh, maybe we're getting there. Would drive out onto the bridge to look at the work in progress. It was usually done on the weekends when the workers were not present and they would not be caught. Probably not terribly advisable, but you drive out and look at the construction. That's the fence. So that's still the curb, basically. The shit, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but that's not that high. It's like 2.5 feet. We still go to that park quite often. For example, here's the lovely winter that they definitely couldn't work in. I'm looking for something specific, but it's been driven out to the roadway and again, not advisable, but I can't say that I wouldn't either. Final section of the superstructure is raised into position. So that's cool. That's the last piece of superstructure to be welded in. You can kind of tell, so you can see that this outside lane is asphalt. This inside lane is just the steel grate. 1958. That's cool. Oh, and they're starting to paint it. That's the first bridge opening. I'm looking for a specific shit that hasn't changed much. The toll booth. The initial toll for a passenger car was $3.25 each way, and increased to $3.75 in 1961. Many years later, the fare fell to $1.50 each way, but it slowly crawled up to $4 in 2013, and I think it's more than that. I think it's like $4.75 at this point. So here's just some more. I'm sorry, this is probably not terribly. I don't know who these people are, but they look important. That's so cool. Sorry, I'll go through these quicker. So there it is. There's some more of it. So a couple more. All right. So shit. Now I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so this is cool. This is the car ferries that used to take you across. So again, they're coal powered car ferries that took you that 5 mile journey. I'm looking for the Hunter photo, and you know what I'm talking about, AP. So they were just regular ferries. The ferry docks are no longer there like this. They have docks for shit. I'm gonna have to look at it. They have docks for other things. No. Hang on, because I'm looking for this picture. Okay, I found one. This wasn't the one I was looking at or hoping for, but this doesn't really help you much. But so there used to be a lineup. People went to deer camp, so they went up to hunt because different kind of fairies. They used to go up to hunt. Gross. They used to go up to hunt, and in like November, the cars were all the way down the road and just parked and waiting, and sometimes it could be hours and hours. That's no fun. Of just waiting. You could wait forever for it. Here. Oh, here's a cool one. Hunter's cars line up 7.5 miles for Straits Ferry. So 7.5 miles worth of cars. So a car's what, 20 feet? Kind of. This one's close enough. The cars lined up. A car is what, 20 feet, maybe 30 with the gap. So they would line up 7.5 miles for these ferries to take them across to the UP to go to deer camp. That's what I'm saying. There's definitely a lot to have thoughts about. So that's just crazy to me that it's the UP's worth that much where you would line up for 7.5 miles. But it was beautiful and still is beautiful. So I get it. All right, so that's all that. So here's a much of what we really kind of just looked at, but this is MLive, which is our conglomerate of news media, and this is a basically a construction video of some of the things. It's about 5 minutes long, so I figured we'd go through that real quick. Is there no sound to this? I take it there's no sound to this, but that's fine. So these are the workers putting the cables together and that kind of thing. Again, the waters up there are get pretty intense. A lot of iron workers, brave iron workers that hung out over the sides. They used a ton of boats as well to move stuff. He's just standing up there. There's no way that I don't have the guts to do that. That's insane. Just just climbing over there. A couple of the individuals were poured into, from what I heard, were poured into the footings of the towers. I think two of them died that way. years where it would have been. So they did take pride in their work, and they did a damn good job. So yeah, putting on all those rivets and all that stuff. Just to see the towers and stuff like that is so cool. Especially knowing the massive size of them. Yep. The men who build America, just like the Hoover Dam, like incredible. Yep. That's the snow, and yeah, humans are awesome. When we put our mind to something, or there's a reason why we're doing something, it's so incredible. Like we can do some incredible things, truly. Really neat stuff. Like if that's all you had is that one wire, you couldn't. There's no way you could catch me out there. No way. That little catwalk sliding down the wire. No, no, thank you. It is. Yep. And that's the most unfortunate thing is, especially in this country, we're not doing these kind of things anymore because we just don't. So that wheel was actually running the cable from end to end. So it was going back and forth, stringing the cable. Yep. Just incredible. So neat. And there's the road deck going in. Those are those grates. I don't know if you can see through them, but yeah, there, perfect. See, they're just steel grates. These are big ass holes. Crazy. Yep. Absolutely. Those are people that just went to work their asses off, just and not for fame or fortune. They just worked their ass off because they had to, provide family for their food or food for their family. I should just quit while I'm ahead, but I have 2 more videos and then we'll probably, because I can't speak today. So this is high winds video.
High
just a
winds
quick
are
news
responsible
report.
for restrictions on the Mackinac Bridge back here in Michigan. It is only open
There's
to
often-
passenger cars and vans
Often
and empty pickups right now. Now, if
high
you're headed
winds
that
on
way,
it,
you
especially
need
in
to
the winter.
reduce your speed to 20 miles per hour while
Yeah,
approaching the bridge,
absolutely.
and then prepare to stop. You're going to find workers at both ends of the bridge who will be offering instructions.
Well, maybe. I know. Like I said, I obviously tripped over my words. Dicks. So here is, I told you changing the light bulb. So crap. Cable, I don't remember what he said. So this is the dirty jobs or micro shit that he did. Hopefully they don't strike me for this, but I'm probably going to be anyways. Yeah, you can feel it move if you go over it in high winds. It's insane. Well, I saw your name and then I was like, huh. I mean, families are food for you, aren't they? All right, so this is pretty neat, but also quite insane. And they walk right up these cable lines. So
Where's this light, for God's sakes?
Oh, it's up 1, 2, 3, 4 more. We're almost there.
No, we're not.
Well, we're partway there.
We're barely there.
Well, okay.
there's no way in
About
hell
halfway
I'd
to the
do
top,
that
we
either.
came to the first light bulb that needed to be changed. There are 96 of these cable lights on the bridge, and in addition to being decorative, they alert aircraft to where the cables are.
You're doing really good.
Thanks.
You're staying focused. That's what it's all about.
Gotta focus. Stay focused.
No way in hell.
Think about what you're doing, not how. What, not how. You remember the first time you did this?
Yeah, you always remember the first time. They started me at the top and headed me down.
Really?
Yeah,
How'd it work out for you?
well, I'm still here.
Do I even want to look behind me? Oh,
Yeah, not
Isn't
a
that
chance in hell,
nice?
Parabellum.
holy cow. That's incredible.
How are your legs doing? Are they tightening up bad?
No, legs are okay.
Great.
My head
Yep.
hurts because this helmet's
Yeah.
screwed on like-
amazing.
If you feel your legs cramping up, it's going to get a little steeper, and this
there
is
isn't a
in
chance
here is a
hell
good
I'd do
area
that
to
job.
take a little break and stretch your legs if they're feeling like they're going to tighten up on you.
good advice.
Again, that's nearly 500 feet in the air. I mean, you can see how small he is compared to this
Look at
damn
that
bridge.
view through the tower. Not very many people get to see that.
No, I bet not.
Or would ever want to.
Here's the home stretch. You got
It
her
is
now.
the wind. The wind on that
Sweet.
thing is insane as well.
The last 40 feet, pretty much going straight up. Total workout. Legs are kind of cramped. Don't really want to look down. But unless
Yeah, I'm
something
with
goes
you,
horribly
Dog Mama.
wrong, right this very second.
Climb the ladder in the top. That's not exactly
gonna
the
make it.
easy way, AP.
Congratulations.
That was
That
big.
was fucking sucked
You
too.
did great.
So yeah, that's just him climbing up there to replace a light bulb. So yeah. Now that you've learned something about the bridge, I'm gonna shamelessly show one of my own videos. And yeah, you can yeah, I'm getting struck anyway. Or I'm not gonna get any revenue for this one anyway, so fuck it. Yep. So if you've seen this video, this is me crossing the bridge with a very popular Michigan song. So
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down to the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The
Yeah.
lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies
I want that job if you die. It's better than old age. I guess that's one way of looking at it.
With the load of iron ore, 26,000
So
miles more,
this song they're
the
talking about the Edmund Fitzgerald,
waited.
a famous boat that went down.
That good ship and true
Probably worth the
was
show
a bone
itself.
to be
It's
chewed when the gales
another
of
Michigan thing.
November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in
So now you hit
Wisconsin.
bridge.
As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well
That was the
seasoned,
causeway on the St. Ignace side.
including some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling?
You mean Edmund Fitzgerald? I don't know if he did. It'd be interesting to know if he did, though.
The wind and the wires made a
I'll go
tattletale
and check it.
sound when the wave broke over the railing.
Okay, I'll go and check it
Every
out.
man knew as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing.
Part of Michigan lore.
The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck saying, fellas, it's too rough to feed you. At 7 p.m.
This is Memorial Day and they
gave
put a
in, he
flag
said,
up.
"Fellas,
They actually didn't do it for the
it's
4th,
been
which I was surprised by.
The captain wired in, he had water
Superior does not
coming
give a
in, and the
shit
good ship
about
and
humans.
crew was in peril. And later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I hear that, Josh. Like, if that's the way you want to go, brother, then go for it. I mean, don't do it. You know what I mean. Don't go skydive without a parachute, but go skydive.
Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours?
So those are the grates to the left-hand side.
Searchers all
Those
say
at
they'd have
green,
made
obviously.
Whitefish Bay if they put 15 more miles behind her.
That's the other tower.
They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters.
50 is the new 80.
Lake Huron rolls Superior.
So this is more of a
seas.
traditional bridge
The
because we're
ruins
off the
of her
suspension
ice-water
piece.
mansion.
So we're going to do
Michigan
that.
steams like a young man's dreams.
There are
The
smaller
islands
oceans and seas.
days
Yeah,
are for
Lake Superior is
sportsmen.
huge and fucking cold always.
Farther below Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her.
So this is coming up on Mackinac. So once you start to see land, that's where
The
that
gales of November,
the fort is going to be on your right hand side, and underneath where you just start to see land is where that visitor center that I said was. So. Somebody has his hazards on because it's annoyingly windy. Always. On the left-hand side is the lighthouse. On the right-hand side is the fort. You can just kind of see it far to the right. That brown thing.
In the Maritime Sailors Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund
So
Fitzgerald.
you're still on bridge, and right here is where you
The legend lives
run into
on
that
from
visitor
the
center for
Chippewa
the fort.
down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales
And now we're
of
off the
November
bridge.
come early.
So. if you ever leave Canada, Digger, it would be worth it. So it's a lot of fun. But so that is one of the that old lady passed me. I don't drive terribly fast on the bridge, just because. It's just safer to get across than have to worry about it. So, especially in the FAMs in the car. But, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Mackinac Bridge. It is a true wonder of Michigan. It is a Michigan lore. Surrounded in Michigan lore. Something like that. And just a gorgeous thing. I encourage anyone that ever gets the chance to take it and go across the Mackinac Bridge. Incredible feat of engineering and human ingenuity, done very, very quickly and very well. It still stands very proud, very true, and holds a lot of people still to this day. So, all right, y'all. No stream tomorrow, and then Thursday we'll do news roundup and catch up. And I don't know what we're going to do after. There'll probably be some kind of movie someplace or some kind of activity. But other than that, then we'll get back into Friday Build and Chat and Saturday Digger's birthday. So thank you guys all so much for joining me, and love Mackinac Island. Mackinac Island's not bad. It's, if you've never been to Mackinac Island, I would highly encourage you to do it. But after you've done it once, I probably wouldn't go back. I think we've been 6 times now, so it's plenty. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I appreciate it. What's up, Kayla? All right, for real. No worries, Eliza. Good to see you. I appreciate it, Jude. All right, so thank you to Brian for the outro music, and I will catch you guys all soon. Have a great night.